Hi, my name is Joe Jackson. I'm a journalist, author, interviewer and broadcaster, and now that that question is out of the way, the question that remains during this weekend of the 20th and 21st of May in Ireland is, who the hell is Patrick Kielty? And why indeed should you care if you do? Well, he just got what's called by, among others himself, the best job on Irish television, hosting the longest-running talk show in the world, namely The Late Late Show. It was previously hosted since the early 60s by Gay Byrne, Pat Kenny and Ryan Tubridy. Funny thing I noticed though, apart from Gay, Pat, Ryan and now Patrick all have a kind of universally acceptable and somewhat generic televisual look among men, if I may say so, not meaning to offend their parents, loved ones, fans or themselves. But as for the question of who Kielty is, well, I'm not going to lead you astray and lie and say I know who the man is in 2023. Leonard Cohen once said he can't keep track of all fallen robins, and likewise I don't keep track of all my former interviewees. But around 30 years ago, when he was primarily a stand-up comic, I did get to know him to whatever degree can be determined and defined by one of my so-called soul-searching interviews. Although that's a misnomer, as it presupposes that all my interviewees had souls. Many may have had souls, but sold them along the way, such as Bono. But that's another story for another podcast. This one is the first of 3 half-hour podcasts I may make based on a nearly 90-minute conversation Patrick and I had. I'll make more if people care to know who he is. As it transpired, I haven't listened to this tape since the early 1990s, so I haven't a clue what Kielty says. But I did check the sound at the outset, and I had to smile when I heard him joke or reveal or say that he can get a hard-on during his stand-up comedy routine. That, as we say, sure adds a new meaning in this context to the phrase stand-up. I hope the same doesn't happen when he does the Late Late Show, though if it does, they could do an Elvis and film him from only the waist up. More seriously, I wish Patrick Kielty well, especially when it comes to taking on the now mythical mantle, it sounds like Mickey Mantle, of Gay Byrne. Although I suspect that as with modern trends in the media, the producers may gear the Late Late Show more so in the direction of it being a chat show rather than a talk show. There's a substantial difference. Anyway, here's Kielty. What I ask here is how it will be, it's exactly how it will be printed.
Sure.
All right?
All right.
So, okay.
It's actually very novel and I'm excited about this.
Okay, no, but it's different. I also have to kind of keep myself buzzing on it. I've done a lot of these.
Aye.
So I want still to be excited about it.
Good.
Okay, so you've progressed in the 2 videos I've watched. You've progressed from Get Them Off, You'd Be Cooler to having guys stripping in the new one, but you haven't got the balls to discharge your clothes yourself.
That's very true.
Why?
Because I don't believe that my tackle is sufficiently entertaining.
You mean just hanging there, or what it could or couldn't do?
Yeah, I just what it could or couldn't do after it hangs there. I think that whenever the other thing about it is whenever you're doing stand-up.
Stand-up is a good phrase for this, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
If you're lucky. Now we know what stand-up comedian means.
That's what it is, you see. No one has done that opening before. It's been going on for years and no one's actually done it. Was a pure stand-up opening.
Yours didn't stand up?
No, it didn't actually stand. It stands up as the gig goes on.
Does it?
Yeah, just, as you get audience...
Well, with all the self-caressing, it's bound to.
I was going to say, it's something where I believe the reason why I didn't expose myself is because if the gig's good, then it should be worth looking at after the gig.
All right.
Okay.
Now you send out those messages to various members of the audience.
That's very true. Yeah.
Does it work?
No.
I have a question on that. Okay, so now we've already worked out what stand-up comics really should be doing.
I know.
So does the Viagra help in terms of the problem?
In terms of material, yes, Viagra is it's one of those ones where I was doing a gig in Cork last night, or Limerick, and I was talking about Viagra, and I said, "Have we any Americans in?" And it was a student who shouted outside. He said, "Viagra is not American; it's from Cork." And I said, no, I think you'll find it's actually manufactured in Cork by an American company.
Yeah.
And there was sort of whole debate about the whole Viagra thing. But when things come along like Viagra, when things come along like Clinton, right? And I think you can tell you're in a classy hotel when they have the Star Report, right? Okay, they supply Miles Davis and the Star Report.
They do not have Wills here.
They do, yeah, like.
Oh, I thought you brought Miles.
No, Miles Davis is in a box of CDs, right?
Wow. Jesus.
You know,
okay, I'm impressed.
It's nice. So,
all right, okay.
So when stuff like that happens, you don't have to write the material.
Okay, but does Viagra help with your own sexual problem in terms of being a stand-up comedian?
It doesn't.
Does it not?
No,
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's because you see, comedians.
Okay. What's your sex life here? So this problem you're having, Viagra, doesn't help you.
No, it doesn't actually. I think I've got a few years to go
before you need it.
Maybe.
So you don't need it.
I don't need it.
Oh, good. I'm happy. See, I would have got across the wrong message.
Oh, sorry, no. The message.
I thought you had. Remember, you said your utensils might not perform as expected on stage.
I think that in front of 2,000 people, it's
Go for it. Go on. Oh yeah, you might feel sexually intimidated.
A bit.
Okay.
I have to say that you come out in front of 2,000 people.
You come out.
Yeah, you do. You come out in front.
Careful.
I know.
Okay.
You come out in front of 2,000 people, and there's the width of a microphone cord between you. You can barely get the material out, let alone get a hard on.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that cord is really obtrusive, isn't it?
I find that it's very strange. I talked to a couple of comedians, and they said that they haven't yet mastered taking it out of the stand, because they see the stand as almost this type of that's my protection.
Okay.
And in a way, for me, when I do stand up, unless I've got a microphone lead,
you don't feel protected.
I don't feel protected. It's like if I was given a handheld microphone, which was at a radio mic.
Yeah. So you practice safe sex?
I do.
I'm very happy to hear that. That's wonderful news. Did you ever watch the Jim Morrison video where he just went ahead?
Yeah.
You wouldn't practice that. If you were really stuck for a laugh, you wouldn't go for the wank on stage.
I think that's something that you couldn't practice.
Okay.
I think it either happens or it doesn't.
Okay, another cheeky question. Did Anthea rearrange your balls?
Anthea didn't rearrange my balls, but it's very weird for someone who does such a mainstream show, and people either love her or loathe her.
Yeah.
The amount of male attention that she actually does get when you go out into a club is it kind of takes you back a bit, because you think yourself that she's this type of person who's very, prim, proper, girl next door, and actually, the whole sex thing with Bobby kind of give her a new edge.
Okay. So she gets all these people coming on to her, because a lot of women in that position find they intimidate men.
Yeah.
They frighten away would-be kind of suitors.
They do, but it's not that she gets a lot of attention, but not a lot of approach.
All right, okay.
She's almost like one of those people where people go, whoa, she looking
from
good.
a distance.
From a distance, but they would never go up to her and say,
okay,
how are you?
Would you? Have you approached her?
No, not in a
Even from behind, the side?
Not in a sexual way.
You didn't kind of sidle over and kind of whisper out? No, not even try that one.
I think that when you're co-hosting something, that's the first time I ever have co-hosted something, and there has to be a certain level of chemistry there.
Okay.
But when you're dealing with someone who is 10 years older than you, there's no sexual. There's a chemistry there without a sexual energy.
All right. So all the fans of yours who are 36, 37, just fuck off.
No, we're not. No, Joe. We're not saying that.
Oh, okay, thank you. I just want to get that clear.
No,
we are not saying that at all, Joe.
No, we're not making a general rule.
Thank you. I didn't want to send out that message without clarifying.
I'm making a professional rule there.
Okay, all right. But women who want to maybe share cigars with you, and at 37 years old, you're not going to say, not my brand.
I have to say at the moment that I have to choose my words very carefully. I'm in a very happy relationship.
I know you are.
And
well, I know you're in a relationship. I don't know if it's very happy.
I know
it
actually is.
Okay,
and therefore maybe in my younger days. That feels like I'm.
You're right. A week ago.
I know. Maybe
10 months ago.
Maybe this time last year, who knows? If they had been Cuban cigars, you never know. You're like.
Okay. All right.
But not now. No.
Okay. You're really being a good boy.
I am actually.
Is the relationship, you did say to Gay on the Late Show that it is good for you. What do you mean by that?
I mean that whenever you're in
Stabilizing, like that's what I thought you meant. No.
No, I mean good for me
Right.
in a whole load of different ways. In that, I think that when you're doing the type of job that I do, and you're never in two places, for the same amount of days, and you're over in London, and you're back to Belfast, and you're down to Dublin, and you're doing different bits and pieces, it's actually very hard to hold something together.
All right.
And so what you actually end up doing is you end up flitting around and doing this, doing that, and from a relationship point of view, nothing ever sticks.
All right. Okay.
And so whenever you find something that is actually worth sticking at and is giving you something back, that's what I mean by it's good for me. It's good for me in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Just from a happiness point of view, it's not that I need a stabilizing force in my life, but it's more that was an area that was always very paper thin for me.
Because until now?
Yeah.
Really? Mm. So does flitting around translate into fucking around? Were you a wild boy?
No, I wasn't a wild boy, but I wasn't a choir boy either.
Okay, fair enough. And mind you, choir boy ambitious.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that. I've said choir boy, and I think,
yeah, it's the same thing.
I've probably seen a lot more action than me.
Like you said about down south, Catholics and bishops are the only people who have sex.
That's very true.
Okay, so you weren't a Puritan, let's say.
No, I'm a canteen Catholic.
Okay.
And that means that if Catholicism is the canteen and I go in with my tray, then I pick the bits I like and the bits I don't like.
Okay.
It effectively probably makes me a Protestant. Which, and actually, if we get down, I'll kill this one. Okay. Hello.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So now just that thing, the a la carte or whatever.
Yeah, it's very much
Which I think is how most people practice.
I think it is, but I don't think a lot of people say it.
Right. Okay.
Maybe they.
You take from it the stuff you think is useful, and discard the stuff that isn't.
It's like from a performance point of view, that we do put on a good show. Like I was at a funeral the other day, and the robes and the candles and the incense, and it's a show. It's a show.
Thing.
They have a backdrop at the back. The whole thing. I went to a funeral once.
You don't have to stir it up though.
No, it's not. Yeah, exactly. So
at a wake, stir it up.
I don't stir it up. I don't think. But it's like stuff like that, and then when it gets on to sort of the hard and fast rules, like I made a gag about last night about Mother Teresa.
Yeah, right.
And the audience went,
okay.
And I said, look, kids, okay, if anyone in this room, they were all single. I said, if anyone in this room has had sex, then you're coming to hell with me. I'm just choosing a different route. Okay?
Yeah,
so don't go,
right.
A Mother Teresa gag, right?
Okay.
And in actual fact, if you're going to be that pure about it, well then, follow the rules.
Okay, but what do you mean in terms of you said that this is the first time you've had, I translated flitting about to fucking about and asked you, does that translate? Is this the first time you really have seriously committed yourself to a love relationship?
Probably, yeah, because I think that everything I've done from that point of view has been in the right order. I think that there are too many people that actually get tied into relationships very early on, and I'm not saying that it's time to put on the slippers and the pipe and get the dinner in, but at the same time it's
progression.
Yeah, it is progression.
Right.
It is.
Okay. Well, it's a bit away from kind of walking up to women at dances and saying, "I'd love to suck your breasts."
That is very true.
Isn't it?
That is very true. But you see, I think
did that ever work incidentally?
I was about to say.
Or was your face continually?
I was about to say that whenever you use lines like that, right, you can now see why this is the first serious relationship I've had.
You mean she only punched you once?
She only punched me once, and I went.
And then she lifted you up and said, "I'd like to talk to you after that stupid line."
She only slapped me once, so therefore you think to yourself, "This is our result."
Better than the other ones.
Yeah, I was going to say this isn't complete GBH. So
I must ask you too about kind of. You're very cruel to Jim and the chorus.
Yeah.
I mean, you say big ditties, which is questionable in relation to the chorus.
Someone said this actually. Someone said this.
I'm asking you up front. I better be careful.
Yeah.
Among the chorus, the biggest ditties are probably Jim's.
I'd have to say.
So you said big ditties, short dresses, playing fiddle. That's Jim.
Works as it. I tell you what, RTE actually banned the ad right? Because
for the video.
Yeah, for the video. Because
Okay.
they wouldn't, and it was very strange because UTV also banned the ad. Now UTV,
All right.
this video got a 15 certificate in the north,
Yeah.
an 18 certificate in the south.
Okay, I must have got the north version because mine's 15.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Did it get 18 in the south?
Yeah, the same performance got an 18 certificate in the south.
All right.
But the ads were banned in UTV because of a Father Ted joke I did. The Father Ted joke ran on the ads in RTE,
Okay.
and RTE pulled the chorus gag because
Which joke? The one about the big ditties and short dresses
yeah,
and playing fiddle?
yeah, that was pulled because they thought that would offend the chorus.
Jim.
Yeah, and from my point of
You
view,
can fuck off back to Dundalk on his tractor.
yeah, but you see, it's a very flippant remark.
Of course it is.
Right?
They have a great sound. I don't think I know them. I don't think the chorus are going to get.
You know, I hope they don't because
All right.
it's one of those things that I think that if someone's doing material about you, then that generally means you've arrived.
Sure.
And
Okay.
and it's not nasty material.
Right.
I think that if I'm on TV and I do a crap show and someone writes something not very
okay.
nice or whatever, that's fair game because that's what I do. That's part of the job. And whenever you hang your ass over the
All right.
edge,
Okay.
you have to kind of.
Well, they could say to you, if you hung your ass over the edge and wore the short dress, try to put on big ditties and play.
I might get a gig in the chorus.
You just might get a gig.
I was gonna say.
So
I can play the drums.
So if it's not Jim, who then among the chorus would fire your fantasies?
It's very strange because I actually couldn't tell them. I couldn't really tell them apart. Because
Apart from Jim.
well, no, because one of the chorus is actually going out with a guy from Stranmillis
Caroline.
in Belfast.
Caroline plays the fiddle, yeah.
Right, and she was on a Belfast flight to London, just
Right.
sitting across from me a few weeks ago, and I wanted to kind of go and say, look, I've got a gag here, but
Okay.
don't take it personally.
Okay.
But because I couldn't tell them apart, because they all kind of look so again, it's like it just goes to show my powers of observation that the reason why Jim probably got the slagging is because Jim's the only one that I can tell them apart.
So you don't, but do you find them fanciable? I mean, they are, as you say, it's kind of like they are sex objects or fantasy objects for millions of people.
Yeah, I think that
Others find them asinine and bloodless.
Yes, I think there are two different things. There are good-looking women and there are sexy women, and
Okay.
I think the chorus are probably both.
Okay.
There are very, you know, sometimes you walk into a room and you see a lot of good-looking women, and in the television business and stuff, you
Sure.
go into clubs and stuff, and you see classically good-looking women. But whether they're sexy or not, I think that's what is something that you can't put your finger on.
Well, you can.
I
I
can't.
mean, you're the expert in running home in college to switch on porn late at night.
I know.
So that's. I must ask you: has there been a progression since then? I mean, have you progressed onto the internet?
I have.
Your sex sites on the internet.
There are sex sites on the
there are
internet.
indeed. There are probably nude pictures of the chorus.
There could well be if you
You
have.
know, I mean, does you know these celebrity sites?
If you have that site, if you have the address and that one, I'm sure there'd be a lot of people out there who would like.
Just to help you distinguish, you'd like to see it. On a purely educational level.
On an educational level.
So, but was that true? I must say that at that point, and I never saw you as a sad fucker. But this kind of sad guy coming home, totally pissed, and you say, blokes, when we get drunk, we do anything for sex. The suggestion was you just come home, turn on the telly, watch the porn, and have a wank, and good night. Was life ever that sad, Patrick?
Life was never actually that sad.
Okay.
But when you live in a student house with 5 guys for 3 years,
okay,
these are scenarios that are talked about.
Okay.
And whether they ever happen or not, it's like whenever you walk on stage with a microphone, it's this power of everything I'm saying happens.
All right.
And,
Okay.
and do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
and it's funny because a lot of the time something happens to someone else, and this is a general rule. But if you're telling a story, it's very, very difficult to say, a friend of mine was actually doing this.
Okay.
And sometimes you put it in, the first person.
All right. But you're not trying to deny that you watched the subtitled movies at night and hoped.
I remember.
Flash.
I remember, right, one of the most monumentous nights of our student life in that house was whenever the adult channel was just coming out.
They were checking it out with a little red triangle.
No. The adult channel was on satellite.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
And this is when you had your encryptor card.
Okay.
Right, and you still do, and you
right.
put it in. But because the whole Sky thing was just getting up and running,
Okay.
sometimes they messed up, and sometimes right, you would come in and you'd press the channel and it would magically be decrypted.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right.
So when you've got 4 lads
Right.
coming back, right, from a students' union, you know, basically kebabs running down their face, you know, very, very alcoholized.
Okay.
And you arrive into the house, and this is fact, and I'll not say which one of the guys actually did it,
all
right?
Fair enough.
But we went to his door was knocked, and he was in bed
right.
with a girl,
All right.
right?
Right.
And he actually climbed out of bed
To what?
right, to come down to watch it with the rest of us.
That is so sad. He has
You
the
see,
real thing and he's watching
He
it
has
on
the
telly.
real. Now, what's that about? Like, what does that tell you about the type of world we're living in? It's
I
like,
thought you were going to say we all knocked on the door and climbed in with him.
yeah, well, you see, we could have maybe done that. But you see, we're students of the. You know, if we had had the TV in the room,
It might have worked.
that might have worked.
Yeah,
There might have been a
yeah.
bit more inspiration
Yeah,
there. But
yeah.
that-
But you didn't go for that.
no.
All right, that's sad.
You see that? What's sad and what's not?
Yeah, I
You
know.
started it.
But that idea, but I love what you're saying, because to me you're also saying, and I love the way you say, there's somebody in the audience and she's saying to him, do you do that? And he says, no, you go to bed and I'll wait and see, is there football on?
Yeah.
Because to me, and this is what I like about your work, that you're capturing nuances of social behaviour that a lot of people don't fucking address.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. So I'm not trying to just be sensational and say you might have hopped in. I mean, because there's many situations where maybe 4 students, women, men, whatever, would have said, fuck it, we're all horny, let's all get in. So it's not, to me, unreal or surreal that it could have happened, but it didn't happen that night.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. But that whole pattern...
Unfortunately, it never happened in my life.
Did it not?
4 in a bed. I should have maybe played in a band, shouldn't I?
Yeah, I think
Because
so.
see, comedians don't get that type of attention.
You do.
You do and you don't. You do and you don't. But
You said there was a woman in the audience saying she'd go down on you. She looks like she'd go down on you.
yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
That's very rock and roll.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I won't ask you, did she?
No, she so didn't.
Oh, okay, all right.
Um,
But do you feel that? I mean, and also, I mean, your new video is more rock and roll.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like you're coming in with the wrap-up song,
Mhm.
rock song,
Mm.
the band,
Mm.
and you kind of, Jesus Christ, you get people. I mean, that's the distinct difference between the 2 videos.
Yeah.
So you're veering more towards that. You know, do you aspire to be a rock star?
I don't aspire to be a rock star. I think there's the cliche that all rock stars want to be funny and all comedians want to be
Alright.
rock stars.
Alright.
And I think that if first of all, if you're using music in the show, unless it's funny, don't use it.
Yeah, right.
Right. So it's like
But
what is my job? My job is to be funny. I think you have to almost pull yourself back to this now and again.
All right.
And
But is there the danger, and this is what I felt watching the second video,
sure.
that songs, the humour in songs,
Mm.
doesn't stand up to repeated listening, watching? Now that may be my
You're
personal
probably-
idiosyncrasy.
Well, it's funny. You could be right, because what I find is, having watched the video 3 or 4 times in the edit,
Okay.
that you're looking at a song,
Okay.
and I would spool through that right to the next bit,
All right.
just to get the performance again.
Right.
But whenever you're doing a stage show, I think you have to decide what you're actually doing. And sometimes when you're filming a gig for video, what shakes what? Does the tail wag the dog? Or
okay.
and so therefore, whenever you're on stage for an hour and 30 minutes or whatever it is, and you've got 2,000 people and each paying 14 quid, it's it's very much a case of you want to put a little bit of variation and punctuation into the actual show for them.
Right.
And maybe then whenever you look at it back on video, it doesn't necessarily translate for a home audience as well.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
I think that's a good point.
I'm going off the top of my head on that, because it's
Okay.
something that you're kind of saying to me, and I'm thinking, Jesus, maybe you're right.
All right.
You know?
Yeah, no, there is 2 disciplines. There's the discipline you need, and the kind of something you have to project for a live audience, and something else that then will be replicated time and time again on video.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't draw a defining line.
Well, you see, that's it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's only, I've watched the videos this morning, and when I got to the song, at the last one, I'm kind of going, I don't know how many more times I would listen to the song.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Whereas the first video with all the stuff, because it's coming at you like fragments, quick lines, sharp stories. Whereas
So
the
therefore
song,
you listen.
yeah.
It's very strange, because people have said that to me. I've got your video and we put it on and we put it on and we watch it here. Some nights we come in and we watch it there. And I'm thinking to myself, now hang on. You watch it how many times?
Okay.
It's like, if I have a video collection at home and I've got, I think the only movie that I've watched more than once was When We Were Kings, the Muhammad Ali documentary, right?
Yeah.
Everything else is kind
It's
of
just once or twice.
It's almost like once or
Oh,
twice,
yeah.
and it's that type of thing where I find it unusual, and maybe it is what people do, that they watch it again and again and again, but maybe then that's
maybe alcoholized and kebabbed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So, maybe so.
That's when they put in your video.
Maybe there should be a free 6-pack and a kebab with it, and those songs will endure forever. Who knows?
At this point up comes a sign on the screen saying, it's time now to have your beer. I'm about to sing.
I know, we're about to sing, okay? You now know the words, right?
Yeah.
It's
go to the fridge.
Go to the fridge and have a sing-along.
Okay, the wrap-up questions about sex, and the ones I didn't throw at you were, I got that. There's no, have you checked the internet sites? Do you think anything about that on sex? Have you ever looked at them?
I have. I've looked at them a couple of times.
All right.
It's
like Pamela and Tommy. You know, they make a video, they sell it on to the internet.
Did they sell it on to the internet?
Well, they did. No, I saw the story from American Magazine. First it was stolen, but then they did a deal with a specific site saying, fuck it, it's out there, now give us a price and we'll allow you to do it officially. What's your response to that?
My response to that is that why bother?
All right.
Why do they need to?
Now you are someone who hit puberty and your sexual peak watching Pamela.
That's very true.
Okay.
But you see, in a way, that gag was playing to a stereotype more than a personal feeling.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, she's one of these people that if you look at her, right, then the sum of the parts, people go, yes. But I find that when you put them together, it's no.
All right, okay.
It's almost like there's this type of rubber Barbie doll type image. And
almost asexual.
Yeah.
Synthesized sex.
Synthesized sex is it? Write that down.
Okay.
I would keep that phrase. Okay.
Okay, you got
There's
it.
a couple knocking around at the moment.
5p. Okay,
yeah, there you go. But I think that the internet thing is it's something that when you work in a TV production company.
Right. Okay.
The future of the internet isn't sex. The future of the internet is this, right? If I own a company that has every comedy video on the planet, right, and I'm in a mood for listening to relationship jokes, and I go to my internet and it's keyed into my TV and I go, relationship gags, right, and suddenly what you have is one of these Dennis Norton type clips, right, of just comedian after comedian after comedian, and you go, who do I want to listen to? Billy Connolly, Tommy Cooper, whatever.
All right.
And that's actually the internet is actually a stage to interactive TV. And the smart guy is that they've done it. People have already done it. You think you're smart, but you're not, because one of the things that already has been done, all these bland cookery shows, that is almost that go out during the day, they've already been bought up. So then you go into the website and you arrive home and you go, what have I got in the fridge?
Oh, okay.
Right, this. Put the ingredients in, and then you'll have 6 recipes. Do I want Gary Rhodes? Do I want? And that will be transferred through to comedy, through to music, through to entertainment. In that, in 5-10 years' time, MTV, you'll not have to sit through a crap song. You choose what you want to listen to.
Does that mean that with Pamela and Tommy, when you come in and you're horny and you want a new way of making love, you just whack on their
That's
video?
what's going to happen. That's the next thing, you see. That's going to be, you type in all the magic has gone, right? Okay, and you get a list of positions. You get a list of positions.
All right,
and it's just, then you type in positions I can actually do, right? And then the list becomes like very short.
But that kind of thing of using those, can you understand why people would watch that kind of video? Would you feel an urge to check out how they fucked on the road?
I actually wouldn't.
No, I haven't seen it. I don't know what it is.
I actually wouldn't. It's because I find that that's almost not pornography. All right. Because you know them. Because they're TV stars. It's like a porno movie's not a porno movie unless there's some big German plumber, do you know what I mean, with a really, dodgy moustache who can't act. It's
the moustache that can't act.
Well, I was going to say we've actually got I've just contradicted myself there because we've been not acting and doing porn. It's like that. We're back to Pamela.
We are.
So,
we are. So we can assume that you will not be doing one of these videos for private use or for otherwise.
We'll see how this video goes first.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
If sales are low, Joe, I'm not ruling it out.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Jesus Christ, I'm going to get fucking hate mail from Amanda. I hope she doesn't. I hope you don't mean she's to be included.
Oh, no.
You mean you do this as a private
No, I
venture?
think this is something that I should share with the group on my own.
Share with the group on your own?
Yes.
Okay. You could do it on your own.
I could do it on my own.
Sex video on your own.
That's very true.
Wanker.
That's
bad. That's the obvious one. Hi, Joe Jackson here. I think we shall fade Patrick there. I shall do a second podcast based on that 90-minute interview if I find that people care to know who the hell Patrick Kielty is. Don't forget you can read my Kielty article on my website, joejacksoninterviewer.com. I thank you for listening.